Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where I have new videos for you every Tuesday. Today's video is going to be about the company Graphic Image, and they make these date books. They also make many other products, including some awesome notebooks and journals, but these date books are what we're going to talk about today from them. I was first even made aware of this company and these date books from a friend on Instagram quite a while back. Then I saw Jennifer Garner post about it, her date book on her Instagram, which it looks like she uses the daily. She didn't really show it close up in her post. And when she showed that, it kind of blew up in the planner world, at least on Instagram. And I couldn't tell from that post that it was the same date book that my friend had introduced me to months ago. When she had gotten it to try it out. And so another sweet Instagram follower DM'd me and she had these date books too. And she let me know what company it was from. I checked them out and I knew we would all be very interested to learn more about this company and what they make and their date books after seeing Jennifer Garner show hers and talk about having used it for years. So I wrote the company and they were so nice to send me 2 of their date book products, a vertical weekly and a little pocket date book, which is a horizontal pocket size. So we're going to get into all of these. They come in these cute little boxes. The boxes are not like hardcore or anything, so they're not super stable like some of the other planner boxes you might be familiar with, but they are very cute and make good packaging if you are giving a gift. Now, these planners are not cheap. This planner that they sent me full price is $105, but right now in February, it is $52.50. So all their planners are pretty much marked down half price right now, and it's only the beginning of February. If you wanted to try one out, I actually think it's a great time to try. We're barely into the new year. You still have the whole year to use it, and they are all half price. Their pricing is all a little bit different based on book and size. We will get into the pocket date book at the end. So let's jump right into this beauty. All their date books are made from genuine leather, and they have all this information on their website. It is a family-owned business. It was started in the 60s at some point, I believe, by the woman who now runs it. It was started by her father. So it's pretty cool that it is a family-owned business and still passed down in family hands. They use genuine leather. They talk all about it, where they get it from and how it is sourced on their website if you are interested in that. Some of their covers have like this python embossing on it. This is the Python Leather Desk Diary, originally $105, now $52.50. It is 7 by 9 1/4, so very close to being just an exact 7 by 9 planner page. It is 250 pages. All their books are called date books, and this is called an appointment book because it is a vertical layout with a timed schedule. Let's talk about the layout first, then we'll do the pen test, and then we'll go through the book from front to back. This is your layout. I want to tell you how this book feels in hand. It feels really nice, you guys. It feels like an expensive, nice planner. That's how I feel about it. I have written in it already and I have thoroughly enjoyed writing in it. So I've done my pen test. Then I also went in and I started kind of filling out just my weekly stuff for fun because I wanted to feel like, how does this planner feel to use? I try to do that, fill out at least a page in every planner that I review. Some planners just excite me more and I really want to feel like, how would it feel to use this as a planner to kind of look at my day in a time blocking manner? Because you guys know I have used Passion Planner before just on the side to look at my time blocking for the week. I've used ERIN CONDREN hourly on the side to look at my time blocking for the week. And I really like this one for time blocking. They say that like the 3 cornerstones of their date books are their number 1, their functional and refined writing text paper. It is number 2, their Smyth Sewn binding. I am not familiar because before filming this video, I meant to look it up, but I haven't yet, with exactly what Smyth Sewn, it's SMYTH, binding means. So I will have to look that up after this video and put it in the screen. And then there's simple graphic design. And I do agree with that. There's simple graphic design on a cream colored paper. So you have to be okay with paper that is a little bit cream colored. It reminds me of Leuchtturm, but the paper is much, much thicker than Leuchtturm. It is not slick at all, but it is smooth and it takes the pen really well. It just feels like a really nice book in hand. Now, going back to Jennifer Garner, looking at her quick little Instagram post, she does not show the inside. It looks like she has the daily date book, which they call a journal and diary along with daily, because on the daily, they have one side where your hours are and one side to journal. I really love the look of that. And maybe next year for their launch for their 2021s, maybe I can get that one to review for you guys. The daily full price is $94. Now it's on sale for $47, and it is 5.5 by 8. So that looks like the one that Jennifer Garner has. But she could also have the horizontal weekly. It looked like the daily to me. The horizontal weekly is horizontal on one half side, so horizontal days, and then a list, room for a list or journaling on the right hand side of the page. That one is 5 3/8 by 7 3/8. It's a little bit different dimensions than the daily at 5.5 by 8. And that one is $72. So it is the cheapest besides the pocket one, and it is now $36. So those are their main layouts, those 3 books plus the pocket one. And all I have is this vertical and the pocket one. So let's go through this vertical. I said we were going to look at the layout, but I was going to show you where I had filled it in. The book lays flat well when you massage it some. It does take some massaging like any thicker book would. It's not too hefty, but it is it's a good size planner. The cover, like I said, is genuine leather. It is bendable, but it's substantial and it feels good. And it gives you that substantial feel to write on if you're like carrying it and writing in it. Here is your page layout. At the top of every day, it says note right there at the top. So that could be like your focus for the day or someone's birthday. They put holidays under the note spot. So if there is a holiday that day, your holiday is right there. This definitely has, like I said, a Leuchtturm look with the cream colored paper. I'm going to pull my ERIN CONDREN in here and show it the ERIN CONDREN paper next to it. It is definitely a cream colored paper. So you have to be okay with that. And I'm going to pull my golden coil in here too, because golden coil is not stark white like ERIN CONDREN, but it is also not as creamy as this paper. So golden coil is more just an off-white in my opinion. And this paper is truly a cream colored paper like a Leuchtturm. So hopefully seeing those comparisons helps you a little bit, because I know my friend who bought it, she just really doesn't love cream colored paper as much as she loved the book. So that's something to note before you buy. This vertical hourly layout, it gives you 3 lines at the top after the note section before you start at 8 a.m. And it goes from only 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it does give you lines on the half hour. So you have a whole line for the half hour. I love having the generous line spacing and all the room. Honestly, I never have any appointments. I don't need to schedule anything out before 8 a.m. I'm definitely up before then since I get up at 5, but I don't have anything I need to schedule before then. I like this section for like my top 3 for the day or any errands that we need to do. And then I can time block the rest of the things that I have going on for that day. They do have noon marked with the word noon. I would probably prefer it just to be a 12 there. And then they have evening marked. I would just prefer it to be blank lines. I think taking out those 2 words would just streamline the page. And personally, I would take out the note word too. You guys know I always offer more opinions about products I truly love because I just feel more passionate about them. So if you will look down here, I'm going to show this to you on January 1st. This planner actually starts at the very end of November, the last week in November. So if you buy this when it launches, you get to start using it the last week in November, which I think is fun because sometimes it is hard to wait to make that planner transfer until January 1st. So I love that this starts the last week in November. And if you look here on January 1st, you will see at the very bottom of the day, it says 1-365. So it tells you that for every day that you are on day 1 and there are 365, out of 365 days left in the year. And then you'll see January 3rd, you're on day 3 and there are 363 days left in the year. That is at the bottom of every day. I'm a weird numbers person. I kind of like knowing what day number we're on, but I don't necessarily need to know how many days are left in the year. So to me, it's something that makes the page a little bit busier, kind of like the noon and the evening and the note words. This is something really interesting. I've never seen this in a planner before. Across the bottom, you have every single month of the year. So you can like circle the week that you're on or highlight the week that you're on, and you can look ahead, you can look behind without having to flip to your calendars. I don't think I personally would utilize this very much, but I think it's interesting. And it's a good use of space at the bottom of the page because I have a hard time writing much at the bottom of the page, although my mind would probably just prefer it to be blank and lines continued down. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments. I really want to know what other planner people think about this and if you would utilize it. Let me know what you think about this page layout. You guys know I love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments. So that is the basic vertical page layout. As you'll notice, they combine Saturday and Sunday. So you just have an 8, 12, and 4 slot to kind of guide your day. And evening is still written in there and a note at the top. That just kind of bumps out your columns for every day a little bit wider. In a 7x9 page, I appreciate that. Even though my Saturday and Sunday are pretty busy, this would only be used for my time blocking. So obviously it's not going to be my daily lists. And therefore I can deal with Saturday and Sunday being less room so that my days, which are busier, have more room being bumped out and giving me a wider vertical column. So that doesn't bother me so much in this layout. I honestly am so impressed with these books and really have loved writing in them and enjoyed just having them in hand. They feel good. I would love to be able to review the other layouts for you guys, the horizontal weekly and the daily book for next year. So we'll see if I can get that. I would love to be able to review those for you next year. That is your basic weekly layout. Here is my pen test. I tried all my normal pens. When I opened my fountain pen, you guys, I was not so happy about this. It splattered ink everywhere, which didn't bother me so much on the page, but I was wearing my coat in the house because it was cold. It's winter, just a lightweight coat. And it got some ink splatters on it, and I don't think they're going to come out. It's a light colored coat. Just when I pulled the top off the fountain pen, it did that. So if you look at the back of the page, nothing has come through, not even the fountain pen, which is right there. The fountain pen is right there. Papermate Flare and ERIN CONDREN dual tip. And did I use a mild liner? I forgot to use a mild liner here, but I used a mild liner on all the pages that I was personally using. So I will show you that. You can see here, even with a dark mild liner, you cannot see it through. So like I said, the paper feels very substantial and luxurious to me. Nothing bleeds through. There is really not any ghosting that's bad at all. The thing that I can probably see the most are the fountain pen splatters. Friction pen does not erase the line, so friction pen works great in here. I love the way like the Staedtler fine liner took to the paper. So like I said, this paper is just really enjoyable to write in. It's a fun book to write in. Whenever I have a book that I review that's really enjoyable to write in, you guys know because I take to it and start mapping out my week in it, and I just want to feel the pen on the paper and just be able to experiment with it and experience it. This book comes with one cream colored satin ribbon. It is plenty long, which I appreciate because you can pull it all the way to the edge of the page. You guys know I like to be able to do that. I love that the ribbon is long enough. You can pull it and open it. I do wish this book had 2 ribbons because I would like to have one up on the month layout that I'm on and then one on the weekly layout that I'm on. That's the only thing I would wish for as far as the ribbon goes. Let's start from the beginning of the book now that you've seen the layout and the pen test. It just feels good, you guys. They also put my name on here for me, embossed it in gold foiling so you could see what that looks like. They do have that option available for personalization. I believe they have up to 2 lines of personalization. So that's a nice touch. If this is a gift, like I said, this planner makes a really nice looking gift. And they also have so many journals and notebooks, which would make beautiful gifts also. On the side of your book, it has your year 2020, and then the back has nothing on it. And the front of your book has 2020 on there. That is not a choice whether you get that stamped on there or not. The 2020 is already embossed on there. Now these books come in many colors. They come in normal leather, that is not the Python pattern design. Some are metallic, but some look more like natural leather, which are just really beautiful. Definitely check out the different colors. When you open it up, it's just cream colored, almost like vellum end pages. It's not vellum though per se, I don't think. You have the gilded page edges, which are just beautiful, and rounded corners. Feels like a beautiful quality book. And it is from the company Graphic Image. This date book says appointments 2020. Now here are some interesting things about this book. There are 240 pages total in this book. 32 of those pages are maps at the back. So I definitely want to get into that. They also have some other like resource pages in here. That's really interesting. It kind of reminds me of Mom Agenda, who has a lot of resource pages, but Mom Agenda has a completely different feel than this. Hence the higher price tag, because it has a genuine leather cover. All of their planners do. You have a table of contents so that you can find all those extra resources they have in here. Then you have a 2019 calendar, so last year's. This year's calendar is big, and then our next year of 2021. So you have everything at a glance there. Then they have listed out all of our holidays for not only the US and for several years, for 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, but they also have Canada, Mexico, France, Spain, the UK, they have France, Spain, the UK, and a couple other countries. Now, thinking about all these resource pages, if you want to know my opinion, I honestly don't need all these resource pages in here. It just bulks up my planner a little bit more. So personally, I would take these out. I think it is something that some people appreciate and enjoy, and it's kind of interesting to look over the other countries' holidays. Then you have international air distances. I would love to know your thoughts on these reference pages. Then you have United States road and air distances. Really interesting to see, how far is it from Los Angeles to New York? Then you have common phrases in all these different languages. More common phrases. You have international weather. I've never seen this in a planner before. So it's your average temperatures for all these countries in every month of the year. Then you have United States weather. I don't know how they picked what cities got to go on here. Maybe just they went by population and picked the biggest cities, but they have the average monthly temperatures for the United States in every month of the year. Oh, and average number of rain days. That's what the second number is. So average number of rain days per month. Weight and measurement equivalents, weight and measurement conversions, temperature conversions, clothing size equivalents. That could be helpful if you travel a lot. Then that's the end of the resource pages at the front. I can see how many of those could be really helpful or just interesting, and they honestly don't take up that much room. I guess I'm thinking of the maps at the back. The maps take up quite a bit of room. These resource pages really don't. And like I said, some of those are super interesting to me. The maps are 32 pages of maps, and we will get back there, of colored maps. That is your map section at the back. Then you go into your monthly layouts. Since this is an untabbed planner, all your monthly layouts are up front. You start this planner the last week of November in 2019. And so they give you the full month of December. It's also just a really busy time of year, and it makes my life easier when I can jump into a new planner prior to January 1. Down the side, they have your previous month, and then they have the next 6 months. So they show you the previous month, then you have this month, and then your next 6 months to future plan ahead there on the sidebar. Usually in planners, this is a notes section where you can have notes, but here it is your looking ahead section. I always love a lined monthly layout. It is a typical Sunday start for your monthly layout and a typical Monday start for your weekly layout. So those are typical. I love that it's lined. Love that the holidays are at the bottom of each box. They do take up a line there for each holiday. I always just feel like I can fit so much more into a monthly layout when it is lined. I will show you where I just mapped out my month of February so you could see a little bit of how it looks filled in using a dark mild liner. That is my main events for my month of February, and I did a few things in March too, just playing around with it. When I get a planner that I really want to play around in, it just feels good. So that's how the monthly layout looks filled out. All your months are in a row, and they give you through January 2021. So for a little bit of future planning, they give you that one extra month there. Then you go straight into your weekly layouts where it starts the last week of November. Then you have all your weekly layouts, and let's go. There are some resource pages at the back. I think they're actually more back here than are at the front. So your weekly layout takes you into the first week of January there. Then you go into where you can future plan events or anniversaries or vacations. It is your vertical monthly look, and they already have all the holidays written in on there for you. And they have 4 months per page, and this is for 2021. So you can plan ahead. I do think this is very helpful. All your doctor appointments, dentist appointments, vacations, anything that you are planning ahead, graduations, big things, weddings, and you can write that in for the next year. Of course, you can always put it in your iCal, but it's nice to see here mapped out in your paper planner until you get your next planner for the next year, and then you can transfer it from here to your new planner. You have a restaurant record. I've never seen this in a planner before. Date, restaurant address, and notes. So you can keep track of where you ate. Did you like it? When did you eat there? That is very interesting. You have 2 pages of that restaurant record. Then you have currency exchange rates. Then you have art museums of the world listed. World hotels. World hotels are continued. Then you have area codes. I know that I would never use this. I would love to hear from you guys. These are area codes. That just makes me think of old time before we had cell phones. Then you have international dialing codes. Then you have toll-free numbers like airlines, car rentals. These things remind me of Mom Agenda. They also had similar things. Online resources. Then you have a telephone directory back here, alphabetized for you. And so there is a lot of room. There's only 2 letters per page, sometimes 3 letters per page. So your telephone directory goes on for several pages. Then you have a birthdays and anniversaries. For me, just most of these resource pages I would not use. Love to hear how you guys feel about these in the comments, because I'm just always interested in if I'm the odd man out, because sometimes I am. Birthdays and anniversaries to be able to keep track of the card or the gift if you bought it. And then you have the typical anniversary gifts for each anniversary. So you have then the month of the birthday, the birthstone, and the flower that goes with that month, and zodiac signs. You have an expense summary back here for its account, travel, hotel, food, entertainment, miscellaneous, and your total. And the date, you have several pages of that. Looks like 6 pages of expense summary. Then you have notes pages, which I find very helpful, and I'm glad those are back here. Something I neglected to point out is page numbers start in your resource pages. So the table of contents can tell you where those pages are. There are not page numbers on your dated weekly layouts, but there are page numbers on the notes pages and the resource pages. You have 6 pages of just lines, note pages back here, so not a huge amount of notes pages. Record of personal data. This is your personal data, I'm guessing, if your book is lost or if you have an emergency. Now we have maps of the world. They list all the maps of the world they have. So they have world time zones here. Here's your time zone map. You have national parks and interstates of the US. You have Canada and Alaska, United States. You have Mexico and Central America, South America, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Far East, Northern Asia, Southern Asia, Australia and New Zealand, Paris and London, Boston and New York. So you get into like the New York City subway here. Whoa. You have Washington, D.C., Chicago, L.A., and San Francisco, and Montreal and Toronto. So a very extensive map system. So that is the Vertical 2020 date book from Graphic Image. Let's look very quickly at their pocket date book. This is a very small little pocket date book. I want to show you it compared to the big 7x9 book. This book is 3 1/8 inches by 6 inches. So 3 1/8 by 6 inches. And you can see this in my hand. It is tiny, it feels good, and it could definitely be thrown in any purse or bag. It has the same rounded corners and gilded gold edges that your bigger date book has. It has 1 ribbon page marker, a cream satin, just like the bigger date book, that has plenty of room to pull it out sideways there. So I appreciate that. This book has 168 pages and contains 12 pages of maps. This metallic leather is a goatskin leather, and the paper is the same cream. They call it cream white acid-free paper on their site. All these dates, once again, you do not get to choose. They are pre-stamped on here and blind embossed on this metallic leather. The metallic leather is a softer leather. Feels so good in hand. It is softer than the Python leather here. To me, this book is normally, this gold one, different colors range a teeny bit in price. This gold one is normally $40. It is $20 right now, so half price. You have the same beautiful look when you open it up. You have holidays, then you have a 2020 calendar at a glance. You have a 2019 calendar, a 2021 calendar. Then you go into your monthly layouts, which are also lined. Here is something interesting to note. They've given you all the page real estate they can, which I appreciate since it's a tiny book. But your Saturday and Sunday do share a space. So your weekend is here and you get half the box for each one of your weekends. Your holidays are still noted, even in this tiny little book, they're noted, and it is lined on your monthly, just like the bigger date book. It starts the same month, so December 2019. It is the same as your bigger date book. You run through all your months, but they do not give you January of 2021 in here like they did in the bigger date book. This one does not start the last week in November. This one starts the last week of December. It starts December 23rd. Let's look at the page layout. The paper feels different in this book, to let you know. I did write on a page to be able to show you guys that. The paper feels different. It feels thinner, probably to make the book not as hefty. So it's definitely not the same paper that is in the big book, although it does look like the same color. You have holidays noted at the top of each day. You do have what day number you're on for the year. Here is where I wrote on the page just with a normal ballpoint pen, and you can see how there is some ghosting, no bleed through at all. Just some ghosting. That thinner paper is used in here because it's a tiny book to make it all fit and make it lightweight. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in this horizontal format on your left, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the right. All your 5 work week days are the same amount of space, but Saturday and Sunday share that same amount of space, so they are half of the space. You go through all your weeks of the year, so this is just a little pocket planner to carry with you to jot down notes, to-dos, or appointments, and to be able to have something very lightweight in your bag. When your year ends of your weekly layout, you go into some future planning. So they give you a big space for January 2021 for future planning there, and then smaller spaces for future planning for the rest of the year for every month of 2021. And as you get near the end of the year, your spaces get smaller, thinking you'll have less to plan that much in advance. So you do even have a future planning space in this little book. You have anniversaries, birthstones and flowers, and zodiac signs listed. You have the front and back, so 2 pages worth to list birthdays and anniversaries, even in this little book. You have area codes. You have international dialing codes. You have a name and address book in here, several pages, then record of personal data, and then you have the 12 map pages that I mentioned. I see Tokyo, Berlin, and London, Montreal. I'm just reading the big cities that I see. Paris, Boston, Toronto, Washington, D.C., Chicago, San Francisco, L.A., and New York. That's the end of this little graphic image pocket date book. It is very lightweight and small. That wraps up our date book review. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these date books. I would love to know if you had heard of them before or seen them. I'd love to know your thoughts. I think at half price is a very comparable price to other planners to be able to give them a try at. I'd love to know if any of you have used any of their date book products and what you thought of them. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy planning, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.